Hey, what's up everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video with the camera backwards as always. Let's flip it around and get it right. Alright, there we go. So, the Lakers are playing the Brooklyn Nets tonight at 6:30 here in Los Angeles. It's a Sunday afternoon game. And it's the Brooklyn Nets, so you know it's going to be a lot to talk about because obviously most of what's going on with these two teams has been about how they've struggled to start the season. The thing about it is the Lakers' struggles have continued and the Nets have shaken off their struggles. The Nets have blown people out. The last two games they won by over 25 points each. The Knicks got their hat brought to them real good, and then they proceed to come here and whooped on the Clippers real good as well. So you got to give the Nets a lot of credit. Removing Kyrie Irving from the lineup has been addition by subtraction for the rest of the team because you're seeing guys like Cam Thomas, Edmund Sumner getting minutes and doing good things with those minutes. Meanwhile, you got Joe Harris coming back, ripening into form, getting in shape. He's been back since pretty much the first week of the season, so now he's starting to get his conditioning right. He should be a nice little role player for them going forward as he continues to work on his condition. You know what he can do. He's already run 2 3-point contests in his career, outshooting the likes of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in those situations. We have got to understand that any moment now, Joe Harris can be a guy that drops 25 on your head all from behind the arc. He can struggle. I'm not expecting him to have a big night. I don't even expect him to have a lot of minutes. But what I'm telling you is, this is one of them games where you look up and that guy went for 25 on you because you were too busy focused on everything else. So we need to be aware of all of the shooting that they have. Curry, Seth Curry, Steph Curry's little brother, who is nobody's little brother. Homeboy can really, really shoot, and he is back. He's been missing from action, and that's what's been going on with the Brooklyn Nets. Unlike the Los Angeles Lakers, all the players that they've had missing are back, and some of the ones that have struggled are now kind of smoothing out. They've fired Steve Nash, as we know, and they have hired Jacques Vaughn, and Jacques Vaughn has been kicking butt and taking names. He's got this team playing on a string. He's got guys believing in themselves. He's got Kevin Durant playing good, and they are winning games, and they're beating people by a lot. So we need to respect that. The Knicks are better than us. The Clippers just beat us, and they blew them out. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? This ain't no joke. Now, Claxton. Nicholas Claxton has turned into basically an all-star. I don't know if he's going to make his first all-star team this season, but he's certainly in consideration for somebody who deserves to. It's basically averaging a double-double with some blocks to go along with it. And this is somebody who's going to do that to us tonight, without any doubt about it. He's going to have a good time tonight. It's not going to be pretty, and we need to guard him. And I don't know that we can do that with the size that we have. If Anthony Davis is going to be getting the ball wrestled out of his hands and stuff like that, like he did in the last game, halfway showing up, barely getting over the line, in situations where we need him to have energy. This is not the night to not have energy. When you're going up against Nicholas Claxton, this ain't the night. This is not the night. He pulled down 14 boards, had 20-something points in the last game. We're going to need him to do that tonight. We're going to need Anthony Davis to be Anthony Davis, and he's going to have to flex against that young fella. If you guys are paying attention to my sentiment as it pertains to the Nets, my entire sentiment on this team has flipped on its axis because of that one single player. I kid you not. Because my mindset is they've needed a center. Somebody who can come in and push people around. Somebody who can come in and just play at a high level to take the pressure off of Ben Simmons to have to take on those defensive assignments and come back too soon and play the level he's been asked to play. Early on in the season, it looked like that was going to be a problem because Ben Simmons was just being leaned on too much and the conditioning wasn't there. And obviously he has holes in his game, so it's a bad combination. In this situation, he's been able to slide, it seems, kind of back into the shadows behind some of the other guys on the roster, and it's starting to just kind of fit in as opposed to being a focal point for which they're trying to build it and kind of center things around. Now it's more so like, all right, you get in where you fit in, and until we figure out a way to get you fit in, just play the minutes we give you and chill out. So that's what I'm gathering from what's going on with Ben Simmons. It's not that he's being phased out. It's just that he doesn't fit seamlessly, and Jacques Vaughn understands that, and it's just kind of like not trying to make it so that he's the focal point of what they're doing, setting the offense up. And let other guys set the offense up. Let KD have the ball in his hands, obviously more. Let the shooters get the shots off. You don't really need Ben Simmons to be Ben Simmons in order for this particular roster to function right now. So as I look at the Brooklyn Nets, I just say, man, they are lucky because they got their guys back. We're still waiting on Schroeder. We're still waiting on TB. Braun is in and out of the lineup. That's kind of the difference. for us. I think our team expects to improve dramatically once we get those pieces in here. And I know that seems like, what will they actually do? Well, what they'll actually do is give us immediate instant scoring with Dennis Schroeder, who can stretch the floor a little bit, gives us much easier buckets. And when you couple him with a player like Lonnie Walker, who are both very aggressive scoring the basketball, you're going to get a lot easier buckets. You're going to put up a lot more points once Dennis Schroeder falls into fold. We'll just have a deeper, fuller offensive squad. We expect to get more buckets, of course. And then when you talk about TB, that's just somebody that gives you size. We are not able to match up with everybody because we do have some issues with the center position. Obviously, Damian Jones is somebody we would rather not play. And he's the tallest guy we got, and we need to use him. And so it makes us a little unhappy about the whole center position. And when you come up against matchups like tonight, you just understand that it's going to be a tough go if Anthony Davis isn't absolutely playing up to par. So if you've been following the Lakers the last couple of games, the story has been Anthony Davis has not had the touches that you need him to have during the second half of the game. First half, he comes out, plays like Anthony Davis, the AD that we've always known. Second half, he comes out and plays like somebody else. And it's like the team collectively has had a difficult time remembering that they should be running things through him. We've allowed other guys who have been more aggressive but not nearly as talented to take more shots, and that's just something that we're trying to figure it out. So the last game, we did a little better job of getting Anthony involved in the second half. The game before that, the game got out of hand, so it was kind of hard to execute that plan. But this is one of those situations where we're just having pace issues and score issues, basically trying to keep Anthony Davis on the floor. It's kind of hard to do so because of the pace and what you need when you're playing from behind. So it's all a bunch of frustration as it pertains to trying to get Anthony Davis into looking like Anthony Davis for 48 minutes with this roster. I don't know what they have to do, but in order to make our team what we need to be, we have got to find a way to make him look like himself the whole game. And I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated with the whole thing. I want Anthony Davis to just be as great as he is, and it just seems like we're giving him the ball too far away from the basket in certain situations. A lot of the stuff that we're doing, it just seems so difficult and so forced. And it seems like it should not be that hard to showcase an elite basketball player. That's just what confuses me, and I have a very frustrating mindset that we send him to Toronto or something, he'll be himself again. And I'm sick of that dynamic. I'm very tired of that dynamic on this team. Everybody comes here and plays worse. Everybody leaves here and plays better. It's not them. It's us. And that's what Jeanie Buss needs to know, absorb, understand, and change. Guys, do not play better for putting on your uniform, and it affects everything because it does make it so that pieces are less valuable with us. So we can't trade them for nothing. So we stay in the hole we're in. So we have got to figure out a way to showcase guys to make it so that they look like basketball talent when they're playing purple and gold in purple and gold. And I'm not a basketball genius, you know what I mean? So I can only speculate as to what's wrong. But I do think it has to do with the presence of LeBron James. I really do. I think guys clam up when they're next to him. I think a lot of times the pressure is too much to be next to this guy. I think a lot of times when you're on the court with him, for whatever reason, his piece is hard to fit other pieces around him. I'm finding that is just the case. It's hard to let guys look good around him. When you start thinking about all the players that have played with LeBron James on this team, a good fourth of them, you can honestly say, should not be on the floor with him. A fourth of them. It's like, how the hell does that even happen when this dude is supposed to be one of the most fluid and greatest basketball players of all time? I'll never understand why so many people cannot look good next to him. Kyle Kuzma, THT, Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, all of these people look worse next to Bron. And I'm sick of that. I'm sick of that dynamic. It don't make no sense. On paper, it should not be, but it is the case. And so this is why I'm like, look, I know I'm supposed to appreciate everything that's going on here. We got a 2020 championship. We talk about it all the time. But as I look at the Brooklyn Nets, and I've been talking crap about them all summer long, just for us to turn into a team that's even worse than them is really, really embarrassing. And I know, and you know, there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. They're in the same boat we are. They built their team the same way we did. They got the same type of anchor we do in Ben Simmons as Russell Westbrook. You got same old guys in in terms of old guys you're building around. You got players that you hardly ever see on the floor. I mean, they got the same problems we got. And yet here they are at 6-7. We're 2-10. And I think it just really comes down to the choices we make. The Brooklyn Nets, of all the things they did wrong, they did not decide, hey, let's bring a piece that absolutely doesn't fit, that's going to remove all of our cap space from us and ultimately leave us in the biggest hole possible. They didn't do that. They made other mistakes, but not that. And I just got to say that that's really why they are in a better space than us. Just bad decisions and people not wanting to let go of people who made bad decisions. And so as we look forward to this game, we just understand that the result of those bad decisions are going to be on the court. You know what I mean? We'll see it. Their guys will go down there, they'll run hard. Troy Brown and Walker and those guys, they'll play hard, but they're going to run into Kevin Durant, they're going to run into Seth Curry, they're going to run into Edmund Sumner and all these different players that are playing well, Claxton, and I expect them to lose. Cam Thomas is a player who's been getting a lot of minutes, but as of late, his shot hasn't been falling in these last couple games while they've been winning. Curry has kind of stepped up, taking those minutes away. So I'm wondering if he's going to play well tonight on the road. Obviously, it's a situation where he's still looking to get consistent time. But what we got to understand about Cam Thomas, what I see in the stats, is that he's helping on both sides of the floor. So even if the shot ain't falling, he's still able to get a steal tonight. And so we need to be very careful that he's going to be effective on both sides, doing things that disrupt. So that's the main thing. Ben Simmons is one of the best defenders on all the planet, and he's getting in better shape every game. Every game. Even though nobody's seeing him playing well, he has his holes and all that different stuff in his game. What we do need to understand is with every passing second, he plays more basketball. He's getting in better conditioning. And once he starts feeling physically good again, he's going to start putting up crazy, stupid numbers. Rebounds, steals, assists, blocks, all that other stuff, the Draymond stuff. Anything but scoring, basically. I expect Ben Simmons to get back up to a really, really high level if he doesn't have any physical setbacks. They're gonna get better. I'm telling you, the Nets are going to get better, and this is coming from somebody who's a big Nets naysayer. But facts are facts. There's no denying that this team is significantly improved by the jump that some of the players have made. The players have just made a big jump. What can you say? Claxton has really made a big jump. Now, when you look at the rest of their roster, they really are slim, just like us. A lot of scrubs back there. I'm not going to front. After you get past that front seven, those back of the 7, 8, 9 guys are not really proven, and we should be able to match up very well with them. So I think the key to a team that's shallow is get them in foul trouble. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. Get Claxton in foul trouble, get KD in foul trouble. Then you're forcing non-defensive players more or less to try to guard your guys. You got Ben Simmons out there taking on assignments he has no business taking defensively for his conditioning at this point. You want him guarding LeBron. You want him trying to guard AD. You want him doing things he has no business doing. You want him at the free throw line too. Do not underestimate Ben Simmons' ineptitude at the free throw line. If he's out there, send him there. Hack a Ben. I don't see any reason why you shouldn't hack a Ben. That boy going to have to prove he can hit a free throw. He hasn't been able to. So as far as I can tell, he's a liability out there 100% of the time. I'm fouling him. And we're gonna put his mind to the test. He has mental health issues. I'm cold as ice when it comes to my team and competitive nature. I'm putting that boy at the line. We gonna have you at the line all night, bro. Messing with me. KD ain't never gonna get in rhythm because the moment they check you in, I'm hugging you. I kid you not. This is Shaq all over again. So I don't know if the Lakers will enact that plan on him. I don't think anybody's enacting that plan, but I'm telling you, last I checked, he was that bad a free throw shooter. He really was. And if they're going to keep him out there for 25, 30 minutes, we're going to have him out there shooting 35, 40 free throws if I'm coaching the team. But anyway, that's my philosophy. I don't let KD get in rhythm at no cost. We stopping the clock every play. Also, and in the last situation, in the last game, we saw the Lakers were running the shot clock down to the last 2 seconds, 3 seconds before shooting the ball. That's a good thing when you're going up against high-scoring, high-powered offenses. KD is definitely in rhythm for that. You talk about Curry and the shooters there. Maybe that's a good strategy tonight. Maybe that's a good strategy. I don't know if they're as high-powered an offense as Utah, but limiting their possessions and controlling the clock probably isn't the worst strategy in the world. Keep the ball out of KD's hands. You probably feel better about that. So we don't expect to see Kyrie Irving tonight. I think that's a good thing for the Nets. Of course, like we said, other players getting more minutes. That's just a good thing. They need to switch some guys around and get some more diversity with their roles. They needed that. So I think that I don't necessarily think that's a good thing for us, even though his talent level is something you obviously don't want to have to deal with. The more the merrier as it pertains to their team, because just like us, they need other guys to get better. So it's not going to help them when they're leaning on their stars and those other guys are just sitting, not involving themselves in these plays. So this makes their overall team better. And I just think that we're going to have to deal with them. Obviously we're coming off a game where we felt pretty good about what we were doing, even though we didn't win. De'Aaron Fox had his way with us, so we know we couldn't guard him. That's not going to be something that we get too upset about. But what we were happy about is the Lakers shooting a three-point ball pretty well. We won the rebound in total 4 chains. So we're happy about that. We forced a lot of steals, forced turnovers, so we really, really appreciate what we did on the defensive end. And we think we can carry that momentum going forward. It's a lot of things that didn't work out in that last game, including LeBron James just simply not being there. I think if he was playing well and he was at his best, we would have beat that team. So there's a lot of things that cater to just ultimately us not feeling so bad about that loss by itself. In fact, I was pretty okay with the game plan and everything. I just wanted guys like Troy Brown, for all of the aggression that he's been showing us since he's been getting minutes. He came into that game and got really bashful. He missed 3 shots and didn't shoot anymore. And while it's weird because my mindset, it depends on the circumstance. Some guys I want to see them do that very thing. If you're bricking shots, stop shooting. But other guys, it's particularly a guy like Troy Brown, who's been shooting the ball consistently, whether it's been falling or not, he's letting it fly. I don't want to see him become bashful. I don't want to see him get into a situation where he's not shooting because he's not shooting well, and then the rest of the team ain't able to hold it down, so we needed the aggression that he otherwise would have given us. That's what happened there. Now, if you got a bunch of players on your team that are like Kobe, or that are scoring and shooting all day long, then obviously what Troy did is the right thing, because you're taking possessions away from those other efficient guys, so therefore stop shooting. But that wasn't what was going on. This team has a bunch of bashful guys, a bunch of guys who ain't got no business shooting, and he's been one of the ones that's been able to hold us down with the attempts, keeping us being a threat offensively. So for him to only attempt 3 shots, that takes us out of what it is that we are regularly doing. He needs to understand it. Them shots he's been taking are necessary. You got to attempt all 8, 9 of those shots. Especially when Anthony Davis is disappearing all week. LeBron James ain't on the floor. Walker's just coming back from injury. Like, you got to understand what the rest of your team cannot do for you. And that's the name of the game with this team, man. When I look at the players from player to player to player, I see guys I believe in. I really do. I just don't think they need to be together. That's the problem. I think that is the issue. And I was trying to figure out with the Lakers. I'm like, okay, there's only 2 guys on this team that I honestly don't want to see here. But the problem is you can't have these 12, 15 guys together. They need to be in other situations. Then you can really believe in them because they'll be role players where they're not relied upon to hold each other down. And that's the problem. That is the problem. Austin Reeves is a great, fantastic young player to have. Troy Brown is a fantastic young player to have. You start looking at all these guys. Wenyen and Gabriel, I love having these guys. What's missing? Guys that are a little better than them, that can make their roles not as important for you to lean upon. You need the PJ Tuckers. You need your just better guys, man, so that those guys can be themselves and it not hurt you as much. When they slap next to each other, then it's like, okay, we got too many of these role players and not enough, starters, not enough guys who can be stars, not enough guys with upside that can maybe make an all-star someday. Like, those are the type of players that are missing. We got the guys behind those guys who are really, really good, who you really want on your team. But it's too many of them. That's the problem. That is the problem. Because I'm looking at our team, I'm like, I like these guys. There's nothing wrong with these guys. I've seen a roster full of guys that I couldn't stand that were more accomplished team through 12 games. We had more inept players. I would have loved to have taken a piece from this team in different teams that we've had in the years past, where we didn't have a role-playing shooting guard, where we didn't have, a guy who like Troy Brown, who could play some small forward as a third guy, third string small forward. Like, there was many years where we had guys like Devin George. I would have been like, man, if we could only have a Troy Brown behind him, that kind of thing. You want some of these guys, you just don't want them together. So that's what it is, man. That's exactly what it is. I'll be happy to keep some of these dudes on this team once we get our stuff together. It's just that we can't keep them all. Wenyen Gabriel's been fantastic. We need to continue to instill confidence in him and give him the minutes necessary to make him as good as he is. Even when he makes mistakes, he still stumbles into 50-50 ball situations where we're successful because he's on the floor. Offensive rebounds, tip balls, stuff like that. Even when he's not playing well, he positively affects those things. And that's the key to Wenyen Gabriel, and that's what I end up picking up on him right away. Even when he's bricking shots, suddenly you look up and the ball's tipped out. Suddenly you look up and somebody's bounced the ball off their foot because he's in front of them. Like, these are the type of things we need to start valuing a bit more. Because I think people want Wenyen Gabriel to turn into Pascal Siakam, and I don't think that that's necessary. He just needs to be himself and continue to affect those things positively. Continue to get his hands on the basketball as the defenders, as players are trying to get past him. If he can continue to do those little things, he'll always be a net asset for this roster. And Russell Westbrook, nothing has been said about Russell Westbrook. I don't think he's been a problem. Obviously, the fourth quarter, last game was, turnovers were there. Brick shots and inefficiency was a problem. But the three-point shot has been falling. I love the way that he's taking his time, getting his arc going, shooting the shot the way that he knows how to shoot it. He's been shooting his whole life. And while it hasn't been falling since he's been putting on purple and gold, what we have found is that over the last 2 games, he's really, really been able to hit the three. So if that can continue to be the case and he continues to feel good about what he's doing, I don't see any reason to complain about him at all. I'm no longer on board with trading him. I'm not. And the reason why is because I know what it takes to do so. Got to add picks to it. I don't think it's necessary anymore. I don't think so. The only reason why I want to get rid of Russell Westbrook is because he's a problem. If he's not a problem, there's no reason to do it. You keep his contract and you let that thing come off the books because it's the best possible outcome for yourself. Because what do you ultimately want? Picks and cap space. What does he provide you? The ability to keep those picks without having to attach them to him, and the cap space he's going to be leaving you when he leaves. So I don't think there's anything better than that at this point. For a team as bad as us, we ain't getting better. I know Anthony Davis and LeBron James want us to trade for Bradley Beal. That hurts the franchise and helps them. Simply put, it ain't deeper than that. So, as we look at that, we say no and move on. So, Brooklyn Nets, we're going to deal with this team tonight. Hopefully they can come in thinking we're a bad Laker team. They think we're 2-10. You know what I mean? We are. But what we also are is a team that's had some good heart. We've shown some heart. Not a whole lot of talent. Not a whole lot of intellect, but heart. So if you think you're going to have a big lead on us and we're not going to keep coming, we will. And that's the good thing about our squad. We're going to fight. We may get blown out, but you're going to have to deal with us. And we'll give you what we got. And if you're not going to play hard, we might be able to squeeze out a win. We've done it twice already, so it's possible. It's one of those situations now where I'm just saying, is Schroeder back? Is TB back? Could this be the game where they return? I know that their return should be coming around the corner soon. Very interesting sequence here also. After this game, we don't play again until Friday. I don't remember many years where that was the case, unless it was an all-star game or some type of event or something like that that would otherwise make it so that they schedule us 5 days off. But yeah, this is going to be a very long week without Laker basketball. I don't know what that means for the team. I don't know. Sometimes that's a good thing when guys have that much time off. Sometimes it makes it so that guys' conditioning gets more lax. But hopefully what this means for this team is that they'll schedule a bunch of practices this week. Hopefully they will schedule like 3 practices in between now and the next game. And if that's the case, they have some good practices. We'll see a much more cohesive basketball team next week when we see them again. So I'm not in love with that. As somebody who does these videos and tries to stay in the rhythm of the NBA schedule, 5 days off is way too long. That's too long for what it is that the talking heads do. It gets us all the way out of rhythm, but I don't think schedule makers care anything about that. But anyway, so as we look forward, we want to see Austin Reeves continue to be aggressive. Look for your score. 19 points in the last game. That's what we want. That's what we want. We need you to be that aggressive all the time. He can't look at himself as a second round or undrafted rookie second year player. He can't look at himself like that. He has to step into the player that he wants to become. The guy that's going to be a triple-double threat someday. He needs to be somebody that's looking to get a double-double every night. 10 rebounds and get your layups and free throws in. Now, I know it's hard for him to get 10 rebounds, so that's a hell of a feat. He doesn't have to get 10 rebounds. He just has to be shooting for 10 rebounds. Come up with 7, come up with 6. Get them, though.
You're already good at that. Offensive rebounds, those come to you easily. Do it. And just keep doing what you're doing. Be aggressive shooting the ball. Don't be afraid to do what comes naturally to you, because guys are reacting to you, and that's a good thing. The defense has to react to Austin Reeves no matter where he is, and that is a very, very, very plus thing for our team. What else? Walker, I want to continue to see him stay aggressive. He came back from injury in the last game, gave us some good scoring. We need that to continue. I think he had 19 points as well. That must continue. We love how he slashes at the basket. He's one of the best guys that I've seen gracefully laying the ball up. I mean, he can lay the ball up from any angle, and I'm just really impressed with that aspect of his game. So we got to allow him to continue to attack the rim. Got to get him opportunities to get in the open court, stuff like that. Let him finish plays, because he's really, really, really talented in that way. What else, man? Kendrick Nunn, keep him sitting. If we see none of none, I'm happy. Damian Jones, pretty much the same thing. I want us to send those guys down and then bring up a couple other guys, man. I really, really don't see any harm in that. I don't know if contractually that's the holdup, but there should be no other holdup. Send those guys away. We don't want them. Bring in the guys who can help us, period. This is not about feelings. It's facts over feelings. We're trying to get better. We're 2-10. If anything hurts your feelings, it shouldn't be my words. It should be that record. 2-10. Let it sit in your soul. So, as we approach 2-11, I think we should reconsider what it is I've been saying about calling guys up. Hopefully Cole Swider is close to coming back from his injury. I don't know. That was a stress fracture, so he's probably out for another month anyway. But that's the type of player I would love to see us get back out here and get him working into the equation, get him acclimated into what it is that we do when we get him healthy. But as I say, every game I'm going to tell you this. 40 Jones, Mason Jones, who knows where he is in the world, but he should definitely be laced up for our uniform. Until we bring him back, I will remind Laker Nation that he exists, and our team would be significantly better if he was in regular rotation right now. That is what I believe, and if he were here, you would see the results of that. It's the type of stuff, man. I'm telling you, this team ain't doing what they're supposed to do. At front office is bringing in Weisenkamp and freaking Tony Snell. Those dudes don't have the upside that Mason Jones has. They don't have the upside that McCoy has. You have guys in your organization that are better than the guys you're using, and you're going outside of your organization for more guys that respectfully are scrubs. I needed silence to follow that, so it's sit. Because that's exactly what the Lakers are doing. They're looking for guys that aren't as good as the guys they got in their G League system right now. And this is why I want everybody who's there to go. That's why I want Jeannie to take the people who are there, and I wanted to get rid of them. If they're not the scouts of whom we love, her brothers, keep them close. The rest of the people, thank you. Thank you. Get the hell out. Get the hell out. I don't even want to be nice no more. Not on this camera. Leave. This is a Martin situation. Y'all got to get out. I don't care where you go. Just don't be here. It's one of those things. Because this is what you get. And people continue to look for stuff that ain't no good. Let's get Tony Snell. Y'all know Tony Snell got the meme running around. We done talked about this more than once on this channel. 0 points, 0 assists, 0 rebounds, 0 anything, 0 everything in like 30 minutes of running around. Like, he's done that more than once. He's done it twice. So as far as I can tell, you asking to bring that player in, and all the players in the world, there's a whole world full of people want to play basketball for the Lakers. And the guys that we're paying to bring people to the Lakers are asking us to bring that guy to the team. This is why they need to go. This is why it's so important we fire these people. So, without further ado, I will finish this video by just saying, the Lakers have a very small chance of beating Kevin Durant, Claxton, and the Brooklyn Nets this evening at home. Very small chance. Anthony Davis is probably going to play. LeBron James may give it a go. They're day-to-day, so I don't know. But either way, I don't feel too good about our team. I don't. Why? Because I think we are who we are. I think the bad decisions behind the scenes, people prioritizing feelings over facts, people prioritizing certain players and finances and all this nonsense over the basketball, the sport of basketball on the floor, is resulting in us being the very worst team in all of basketball. One of the worst teams in professional sports today, any of the 4 American sports. And so, as far as I can tell, that needs to be met with a certain level of reaction from the fans, and that's what they're getting from me. And I'm going to sing it every day. I want people to leave. I want people to be brought in that know what they're doing, and I want our team to blow up our core. I think our core has been proven to be successful in one season, and it's also proven to be unreliable in 5 seasons. 1 out of 5. That's good math for me when you're talking about trying to win a championship. Now it's time to devise our next strategy forward as a franchise, and being afraid to do that is not going to make you exempt from the consequences of not doing so. You are going to fear your way right into the fear that you fear. You're going to run right into that failure. And so that's what it is. That's what I want to tell everybody who's watching the Lakers. I don't have any faith in Jeanie right now because she's not making common sense decisions that keep that faith strong. Straight up. I want common sense decisions made. You got to fire the people who put together the garbage that sucks. Period. If it sucks, you get rid of the people who put it together. You don't keep them around for sentimental reasons. You don't keep them around because you're afraid of things going wrong. They're going wrong because they're there. And if you got a whole fleet of people who really love what it is that we're representing, telling you the same thing, at some point in time, you got to start thinking that way. You got to start taking into account those people are not telling you something that ain't going to help the team. We all want to see us succeed, and I'm telling you, this is why we're not. This is exactly why we're not. And it's hard to support people when they're continuing to do things that reinforce the failure that you're unhappy with. Now, if Jeanie wants to continue to see Laker fans be as happy about her and as very positive about her image as we have been, then we really, really want to see the team blow up, man. It ain't about selling us no wolf tickets. It ain't about bringing us no super duper talent to make LeBron James feel better about being here. I don't care nothing about that anymore. I really don't. Because the way I see it is he don't care nothing about us. He wouldn't have put together this jambalaya of bad for 4 straight years if he was about the Laker organization and wanting to see us succeed past his tenure here. I'm sorry. The stuff that he's asked us to do is put us in a hole. Facts. It ain't deeper than that. Put us in a complete hole. We're in the same hole we were in when he came to bring us out of it. I mean, look, if you're coming to rescue the Lakers, and by the time it's time for you to leave, the team is just as bad as they were when you got here, my brother, you didn't rescue nothing. So that's where I'm at with that, man. I'm not going to apologize to LeBron James for being unhappy with what it is that he's brought us with 1 championship under our belts, and he's supposed to be the greatest player of all time, and the team is breaking records for being the worst team we've ever had. I'm not confused by that, Bron. I'm not confused by that, brother. I understand that you running around hard down there for our team. You're dealing with injuries. You play more basketball than any other human being that's ever played the game. All of that stuff is giving you the right to have the cachet that you have in this league. But with all due respect, that does not give you the right to ruin the greatest franchise in the league. You don't have that right. That's a different right. Nobody has that right. In my humble opinion, ain't a single soul, greatest or the worst, should be able to come here and ruin this thing and then demand to be respected for it. And demand us continue to reinforce the same crap that ruined the franchise. I'm sorry, that is not a positive. That is not something I'm supposed to appreciate. It's something I should logically want gone, and I want that acknowledged. I want that acknowledged. That I'm not being a bad fan for looking at what Bron has brought us, looking at what he's provided us, and not being satisfied. I'm not a bad fan for that. None of us are bad fans for looking at the greatest player of all time and saying, you ain't live up to your standards putting on our freaking uniform, brother. And the least you could do because of it is to not ask us to reinforce more that's going to leave us a worse team. And damn it, that is the truth. God bless the James family. I'm not mad at them. I would love for his sons to put on purple and gold someday and do it as well as he did or even better. But this is not me saying I don't appreciate LeBron James. This is me looking at the data and saying this is not acceptable. Damn it. That's what this is. This is me looking at the data and saying this is garbage. He can do better. Jeanie Too Good can do better. And I'm not a bad person for pointing it out. Do better. Sit up here and get mad at the fans for not appreciating you. What the hell am I supposed to appreciate? It got me looking up here running around Kendrick Nunn and Damian Jones. What am I supposed to appreciate? You supposed to be the best player in the world? And my team looks this bad, brother? You get mad at me? You get mad at my fan base? Because we don't appreciate you? Man, 1 championship is a beautiful thing. But you gotta respect we got 17 of them. One of them ain't gonna impress us. I'm sorry. We're spoiled. But not only are we spoiled, we don't want to be ruined, bro. We can live with not winning if our team was kind of good enough every year, we were getting close to the championship. Sucks. Damn. Second round. Damn. But that's not what we are. We're the worst team in the league. You know what I'm saying? Don't sit up here and give me nothing about, they don't appreciate me until I'm gone. Brother, we want you gone. Go. Do this somewhere else. Take this dynamic and do it to one of our enemies. You are a cancer, bro. Let's just call it what it is. The man's a cancer. The most brilliant basketball cancer the game's ever seen. But that 3-6 record, it's real, man. That's not just because he just happened to run into better teams each and every one of them times. No, he did certain things that made it so he wasn't good enough when it came down to it the most. When he needed it the most, he wasn't having enough, and it was because of them choices. This is his DNA. 3-6 is his DNA. I've come to understand this. You don't get that far and not have enough by design. To be able to write yourself good enough to get there 10 times in a row means you have more control over the circumstance than most. So when you get there that many times and you fail more than you don't, that's because you've done certain things a certain way. Just like it took to get there, you couldn't get over the hump for the same reason. See, real winners and real greatness has control over those things. Regular players, guys we talking about, Troy Browns, they ain't got no control over that. A guy like LeBron James who can will himself to the championship 10 times in a row with 3 different teams, I'm telling you, his record should be better. His record should be better. But he does losing things, man. Give me this guy. Pay him more money than he should be given. No, that's a bad thing. You're not going to have enough in the end. Do it anyway. And how many times are you going to do this? And the team ends up what? Not good enough. Every single freaking time. Not good enough. Barely good enough. It's him, man. It's him. This is what comes with the king, and I'm tired of it. The team is trash. Absolute garbage. And it ain't just because we got Anthony Davis eating up half the cap. The fact that we brought Russell Westbrook in is just yet another one of those things. Why the hell is he even here? Never mind that I was supporting it. I was an idiot. Call me that. But he shouldn't be here. He didn't fit. He never did. People like me were wrong. We should have been stopped in our tracks. No excuses. Shouldn't have happened. He should have been smarter than us to say that doesn't fit. It ain't going to work. I'm not going to be able to do what Kevin Durant couldn't do. So it ain't worth trying. And Russell might be the last Laker left. You mess around, he's going to have a longer tenure here than you because of this stupid crap. Because he's going to be much harder to get rid of. Just what it is. So yes, no, I'm a Laker fan, not happy. I'm getting ready to run into a Nets team that I've been talking trash about all summer long, and I know they're going to beat my team, and they deserve to because they're better than us, and that's the truth. Doesn't mean that I feel any differently about some of the stuff that they've done. They're not a good team at all, but there's levels to this, and we're much lower at this point, and that's unacceptable. So I'm not going to sit up here and say we need to trade LeBron James and Anthony Davis. That goes without saying. That should have been done. I'm not going to sit up here and say I expect the Nets to come out there and beat us. That goes without saying. That's going to happen. What I also expect is to come back tonight and have the same things to say because ain't nobody going to do nothing. Jeannie ain't firing nobody. Rob ain't trading nobody. They're going to continue to kick the can down the road with these players that we got. God bless them. They're not good enough. And we're going to continue to see LeBron James and Anthony Davis complain about not having enough sitting down games, getting hurt, disappearing in the fourth quarters, turning the ball over, and then proceeding to not be good enough. That's what I expect. That's what we're going to see. That's who we are. Until Jeannie gets it in her mind that it's time to change that. Just like she did when her brother was in place and crap was trash, she needs to look around and see that it's just as bad right now and do the exact same thing. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching.